yesterday that you guys were trending in a good direction. Just wanted to check in and see if you still feel that way as far as guys coming off that list.
I do. Obviously, very excited to be able to get Jalen back. We know how important he is to our team from a leadership perspective and then a production perspective on the field. And so that's really big to be able to get him back with how thin we were on the secondary. And then there are some other guys that are trending in the right direction, and hopefully we'll be able to get some good news on them, today or tomorrow.
And then can you just take us through what like your physical practices have looked like yesterday, today, and if you expect to be able to do any work tomorrow and how guys are looking after having a couple days off?
Yeah, today felt more normal, Lindsay. But basically, to give you kind of a quick overview of what it's been like, you've seen a lot of good individual full speed work, and then we've been able to kind of two spot offense and defense separately with look squads, and some of that is you've kind of had to be creative with being able to not necessarily have 11 players on the service team, but sometimes it's coaches, staff, whatever. But we have been able to get that in kind of an up tempo pace, especially at the point of attack, which was good. But that's roughly been about 2 hours of work when you combine special teams jog through, good individual emphasis. We had one competitive period where the offense was going against the defense. And then we had about an hour separate doing kind of jog through stuff that was all encompassing to first, second, third down, some situational things. And tomorrow will just be a trimmed down version of that.
Got it. Thanks, Sean.
You're welcome.
Jordan.
Hey, Sean, kind of in the middle of the afternoon here today, we got an update on Jake Funk. We're able to activate into the practice window for the 21-day window. Just wanted to make sure I have that phrasing correct.
Yes.
That was a hamstring. What has his rehab in your mind been like, and how soon do you think he could be available depth for you guys, not just at running back, but on special teams?
On Tuesday. I expect him to play on Tuesday. So he's made a good recovery. Done a great job with Reggie and his group attacking it. So both Jake and T. Howard are guys we anticipate playing on Tuesday.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Kevin.
Hi, Sean. Another running backs question. With both Henderson and Michelle presumably available on Tuesday, does it go back to the pecking order? Probably the wrong phrase in your mind, but that it was before Daryl got hurt. Does Daryl start to the extent that matters?
Yeah, we'll use them both. Sony's done a great job these last couple of weeks. We know how reliable, Daryl is. So both those guys, if they're both up and available, we'll utilize both those guys. As far as the starter, who gets more, it'll be a feel for the flow of the game. I look at it as like we have two starting backs, and then you'll have Mekhi and Jake available if need be as well.
And then if Jordan Fuller weren't available, would Ernest Jones be the defensive signal caller?
That's a good question. That is definitely something that is most likely to occur as far as Ernest being able to have the dot with kind of where he's ascended himself to. And he is the most likely candidate. Absolutely.
And then quickly, a number of guys, starting with Matthew Stafford right after the game, talked about how this adversity can bring a team together. Is that wishful thinking? Do you see any signs that being apart for a few days has brought the team together?
I think so. I mean, I think, anytime that your back's against the wall and you have to work through some adversity, it forces guys to bond tighter than you had before. And I absolutely think that's true. I don't think it's a cliche in the least bit. And I think you can use those experiences as powerful moments to build momentum in the right way and show that there is opportunities to overcome. Guys get an opportunity to step up. I think in those situations and scenarios, players like Matthew Stafford are, not necessarily asked to do more, but there's more weight on their shoulders, which is something that they're more than capable of being able to handle. I think you saw from the very first snap, Aaron Donald epitomized that the other night. I thought it was the same thing from the way that Matthew played offensively. And the best part about it is that's just those guys playing their best ball. It's not anything more than what they're capable of, but their best was required, and that's what we need. And it's going to be no different this week going against the Seahawks on Tuesday. That is weird, playing on Tuesday.
Thanks.
Jim.
I feel like I'm back to my Mac days in college.
Yeah, that's one of the things I was going to ask you. I mean, you were watching games last year on Tuesdays, other teams going through all this. Given everything that happened last year, all the protocols, all the limits, I mean, the fact you couldn't do anything in the spring, you couldn't do a lot in the summer. has it all kind of prepared you for this moment that you went through that and now this happens and it's a little easier to deal with because of those experiences?
Yeah, I think, Jim, I would say this. You do have a lot of plans in place, even to Gary's question the other day when he was saying, okay, if for whatever reason I was to get it, what is the order and who would kind of take over those roles and responsibilities? So you're kind of dusting off some of the procedures and things you had in place. I certainly did not ever anticipate this coming up again, but based on being in a situation, in a scenario where we have such good weather, we'll start using that 10 again, to meet and things like that. But I think with what we learned last year about being able to utilize technology to get things communicated to our players in an efficient manner remotely is definitely beneficial. And then I think they've done a great job being able to handle the in-person work. And so I think last year definitely prepared us better. I don't know if you ever truly prepare for moments like this, but been really impressed with the way that our organization and our players have handled this. And I think we're going to be able to, go have a good go have a good chance to compete to the best of our ability on Tuesday.
So how much of this was pre-planned, kind of a disaster scenario, what if, and how much of it have you had to do on the fly this week?
Yeah, I don't know if you can ever truly pre-plan for something like this, Jim. I think the agility and the flexibility is at a premium right now. And really from our coaches, our staff, our players, they've done such a great job. You can really say, okay, hey, here's what the circumstances are. Here's the numbers we have. Here's the players that we have available. So let's start to formulate a plan accordingly to go prepare to try to win your 10th game. And so it's been a little bit of a fluid situation. I do think it's good that you have a little bit more clarity in terms of, all right, here's what our 48 game day roster would look like right now. There's a couple guys that are still technically out that are trending in the right direction that we can anticipate being back. And so not something that you can ever really pre-plan, but guys have done a great job adjusting and adapting on the fly with an ever-changing situation like this is.
And then last thing, playing on Tuesday, obviously tremendously different. Have you talked to other guys? Do you kind of have a sense of how it affects not only this week, but the next week and the short week you have coming up after this?
Yeah, today it's Friday, Jim. It's not Sunday. It's Friday, because we're playing on Sunday, Tuesday. So, we just kind of really get our normal rhythm and routine. And really, these are things that you're accustomed to, whether you play a Thursday game on a short week, Monday nights, Sunday night games. And so because we were really delayed and even be able to start our preparation, we've treated the last 2 days like a combination Wednesday, Thursday, yesterday. Today's like a Friday. Tomorrow will be like a Saturday. And then Tuesday is Sunday to us. So it really does. We're such creatures of habit. You get into your rhythm and routine. And in all seriousness, it feels like I'm going about my Friday rhythm where typically I meet with you guys before and after today. And then I'll go through my normal routine that I go through on a Friday. And tomorrow will be like Saturday morning.
So then you'll play the Vikings on a Thursday.
Yep. And I'll treat it like in between a Thursday and a Monday night game because, it'd be like technically playing on a Friday. So not quite as short a week as what a Thursday will be. So these are things that, we're well equipped to do this late in the season, especially, it's a real premium on the above the neck information and maximizing walkthroughs and things like that. And so I'm just grateful for, Commissioner Goodell, the league, the PA to be able to work it out so that we are getting some bodies back and we're going to be able to play this game that's reflective of, good competition that we're looking for and the equity that we talk about in this league.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Jim.
Gary?
Hey, Sean. By not playing today, you're able to watch, I think, maybe some scoreboard watching with the Lions beating the Cardinals. Kind of sets you guys up for, a possible run first place. Are you aware of that? And do you address that at all with your team in any way?
I am aware of that. We came in and guys heard what the score was, but the reality is it all becomes irrelevant if we don't take care of business. I think it'd be, of course our players look at that kind of stuff, but I think the focus and concentration is, let's take care of our business. Well, hey, to say I'm not a fan of the game and the league and things that could potentially affect us, I'm absolutely aware of that. But I think you continue to harp on what are the things that we can truly control. And that's making sure we do a good job on Tuesday. But I'm definitely aware of that, as our players are as well.
And I know all of your players are important, but to get
Yes, Jalen's very important.
but to get him back, I mean, if he had not been available, obviously you guys would adjust. But to know that you are going to have him available, what does that do for you as a coach?
It's huge. It's huge, Gary, because of the different ways that you can utilize him, the swagger, the game day leadership he provides, just the presence. You know, when you're around Jalen Ramsey, you just feel better about our chances as a team. He's got that kind of effect. He's got one of the best game day demeanors of any player I've ever been around. And then I think about some of the things that you can do when you think about the matchups and the problems that they present personnel wise and what he enables us to be able to do in regards to trying to defend a really difficult offense with great personnel. I think it's really big. And, you know, it was huge missing him last week for that same reason. Guys did a great job stepping up. But to say that it's not a big deal to get Jalen Ramsey back would not be accurate. That's a huge deal for us. And I was ecstatic when I got the call that he was cleared.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, we got two. We'll wrap up with Jordan and then Michael.
Hey, Sean, with the season that Cooper is having, I know, and a lot of guys have said, you know, do a disservice to just maybe pick one or two moments that fully represent him best or their personal favorites. But I'm wondering if you have, maybe even if it doesn't happen at the catch point, a moment that represents him in your mind or a favorite moment of his this season.
Yeah, favorite moment. That'd be really difficult. I mean, it's really what game do you want to talk about? We can talk about favorite moments. I mean, he's just done so many different things. I mean, you know, nobody would really talk about it, but our longest run of the year was with Cooper lead blocking on Jamal Adams the first time we played these guys, where he kicked out Jamal in the hole and kind of ricocheted him into another player, and Darrell goes for 28 on our sideline at Seattle. Yet he's got 113 catches, 12 touchdowns, and, you know, all these yards. And so he just does something week in and week out. And then when you hear the level of detail, I mean, you know, people joke about it, but when he communicated what he saw on that touchdown he had against Jacksonville, that's why he's so special. He's so gifted, but he's so smart. He's so conscientious. He's so selfless. Such a great teammate. I'm a better coach for being around Cooper Kupp. And, you know, I could go on and on about all the amazing superlatives about him, but he's an even better person than he is a player. And I think that's the best thing I can say about him.
I think you mentioned a couple weeks ago about how, as a coach, you feel like you need to be so prepared because he's going to come with the questions all the time. I'm wondering if you can share an instance where he has led you to find the correct answer to a problem.
Yeah, it's more about collaborating. Like, he's got such great awareness too, Jordan, that it's more like he's aware of what things he's put on tape. And he's saying, hey, this would be a good compliment based on their coverages and some of the routes that I've already run off of these same looks. And so he's really seeing things like a coach. He's taken some of these younger receivers under his arm, and he is not only, you know, a captain for us, but he's also helping coach that group up, making corrections when we're trying to game plan from post-practice stuff, whether that's helping get Odell up to speed, helping Van continue to mature. There's just so many amazing things, and none of it is done other than because he wants to be a great teammate and he wants to win. And that's the best thing about him. But, you know, like, I'll give you, you know, the route that he ran against Tampa, that was his idea. He came up with that when our players were doing some stuff in the off season, and the way that guys had triggered on a similar route concept where he stays coming back underneath all the way. And he ends up putting his own sauce on it, and he has a reason behind it. I said, shoot, that seems like a pretty good idea. Let's do it. And so, but like, you know, when you've got great players like him, you're going to listen to him. And he's got very educated understanding when he makes suggestions of what it's going, why he likes it. He's solved some of the problems. No different than when a coach that's responsible for game planning a certain phase of our offense comes to you to present, all right, what do you think of this idea? And you kind of go through, all right, what's the problem? What's the intent? What are the mechanics? And then what are the problems that can arise in this play? Have you thought through all those? Cooper does that when he's making suggestions. And that's why you're seeing him do what he's doing.
Thanks, Sean.
You're welcome.
Right with you, Michael.
Hey, Coach, can you hear me?
I can. Yes.
Yeah, I know that this is a learning process for everybody here over the last, little over a week for you guys, but with the wild and crazy nature of all of the protocols and procedures, guys testing in and going into protocols, false positives, coming out, coming back in. And with this outbreak going on, is there any changes that you'd like to see in the procedures and the testing protocols, or even, and I know the league's working on it, but even the ability to adapt and move games like they did for you guys in the Browns? Anything you'd like to see differently moving forward?
Yeah, I think it was great, Michael, with what they did, and then kind of like I had mentioned yesterday on a similar question, you're talking about, all right, let's think about what are the priorities behind what we're trying to get accomplished. Number one, assuring the players' health and safety to the best of our ability, given the unknowns and the uncertainty that exists right here. I think the league and I think the PA has done a great job being able to work in coordination to get that figured out. What does that mean? That means moving the schedule if need be, even though there's a lot of different layers to how those decisions come about. And then it's saying, okay, let's continue to understand this new variant. What is the volatility of this? What are some of the things that we can do to educate people on, why it's not minimized, but why the symptoms are more mild and why you're seeing that shelf life turnover. You're getting guys back faster. So I think they're checking the boxes on the health and safety. And then how can we accomplish that while also being able to complete our season, play a full schedule, and give ourselves an opportunity to crown a champion at the end of it. And I think that that adaptability and that agility that we have to have as a team is exactly what was demonstrated by the PA in the league this week, and very grateful for that. And so I think they're doing a great job.
All right. Hey, Coach, we appreciate it.